Twin Flames, this is Debs, and we of course are here for your Twin Flame journey for the month of August 2026. Lovely to be with you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and let's find out what's going on between the masculine and the feminine. So the deck that I'm using today is the Vintage Tarot. If you guys want your own Twin Flame reading, I'm still offering 50% off most of my readings, so my website's down below if you're interested. I've also started a new lifestyle channel, Living in the Light in France. If that is of interest to you, again, the link is below. So twins, without further ado, let's begin. Calling on the divine, the higher angels, and ascended masters from the pure white light, please guide me in this Twin Flame journey for the collective. This is August 2026. Archangel Michael, please join us and provide your guidance throughout this reading where it's necessary. Thank you, Michael. I'm seeing in my mind's eye 1144. That might be relevant for someone. Okay. So twins, as always, the top line of cards represents the energy of the divine masculine, the feminine energy below. Let's just lay these out. As always, 6 cards for the masculine, 6 for the divine feminine. Now, as you also know, you could be a masculine sat in your feminine. You could be a feminine sat in your masculine. Take it as it resonates, guys. Do remember that. This is not going to be a reading for everyone. Okay. Just checking that the cards are straight. You can see them. Let's move these up. Final card for the masculine. Final card for the divine feminine. Beautiful. Okay, guys. So, the card in the center will show us the outcome of this particular Twin Flame reading for the month of August. And underneath the deck, we have the Page of Swords. Somebody is keeping an eye on their person. Yes, we may have a scenario here where someone is watching another person online, checking them out, seeing what they're up to, seeing if they're dating anyone, maybe. Okay, twins, there we go. So let's start. Let's have a look at the energy of the masculine. Let's have a look and see what's on his mind and how he is feeling at this point of time. Here we go. The 8 of Swords. So the divine masculine is in a little bit of a mental prison. He's trying to figure out something. It could be how he feels. It could be, how do I progress the situation? He's deep in thought, but his thoughts are almost keeping him trapped, preventing him from moving forward somehow. Could be a little bit of overthinking, overanalyzing. Okay. So twins, we move now to the first card for the divine feminine. Let's have a look and see what's on her mind and how she is feeling. The moon, Cancerian energy for me. The moon can represent fears, doubts, worries, but the moon can also be something that is hidden. The moon can also represent very deep feelings. So the masculine is in his head. He may be overthinking, overanalyzing, and the feminine is sat in the energy of the moon. Maybe she's confused as to whether or not the masculine is going to make his move. So twins, we move now to the second cards. Let's have a look at the divine masculine's energy. This is going to represent what he believes the feminine is thinking about, how he believes she's feeling. This is his point of view. The Empress. Okay, so the divine masculine may know that his true divine feminine is understanding that she is the divine feminine. She is on the twin flame journey. It could well be the divine feminine is a Taurian or a Libra, but also with the energy of the Empress, the divine feminine may be thinking about a mother or a wife. Okay, with the energy of the Empress. So the masculine believes the feminine is either sat in her true divine feminine energy, or indeed a Taurian or a Libra. So this is what the divine masculine believes the feminine is considering or thinking about. So twins, Let's have a look now at the second card for the feminine. This, of course, is going to show us what she believes is on the masculine's mind, how she believes he is feeling. This is her point of view. So the divine feminine believes that the masculine is thinking about building a connection with her, working in partnership with her. She may also believe that the masculine might be seeking advice from one or two other people. It could be because he wants to try and figure out how he's actually feeling. With the Three of Pentacles, the divine feminine believes that the masculine may be trying to figure out a way of building the connection with her. So, twins, we move now to the third cards. Let's have a look and see how the masculine views the connection, the relationship with his true divine feminine. This will be his perspective. The Death cards, Scorpio. So the divine masculine may feel as if a Scorpio is his true divine feminine, or with the energy of the Death card, the masculine knows that there has to be major change and transformation in order for him and his true divine feminine to move forward into union in the 3D. The masculine is fully aware that change would be needed, which is maybe why he is sat in his head. Is he ready to make the necessary changes he would need to make in order to be with his true divine feminine? Okay, twins. Let's have a look now at the third card for the feminine. This, of course, is going to represent how she sees the connection, the relationship with her true divine masculine. Let's find out, twins. Let's have a look. The Four of Swords. I feel the divine feminine has pulled back to do a lot of deep thinking about the connection. She's sitting in a very similar energy to her true divine masculine, who's also in his head. She doesn't quite know whether or not this connection is going to take off. She doesn't quite know whether or not the masculine is going to make the necessary changes he would need to make in order to offer her commitment in this lifetime. She's not sure, so I think she's holding back to allow the masculine time to consider his options. How would I make this work? How can I bring the both of us into union in this lifetime? I think she's stepping back to give him time to figure out, first of all, whether or not he really wants to make those changes, and if he does, how he would do that. So, twins, very interesting. We move now to the fourth cards. These, of course, are going to represent the messages that each twin wants to relay to the other twin. Messages, of course, of love and support for the journey itself. But these could also be pieces of information sent between the souls during astral travel in dream state. These could also be questions that one twin wants to ask the other that they may not have had the courage or opportunity to ask in person. So, twins, let's have a look at the divine masculine's energies. Let's have a look and see what he would want to say to his true divine feminine. The Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands can represent several different things. The divine masculine may want to talk to his feminine about a child. The divine masculine may want to say to the feminine, I find you incredibly attractive. He may want to do that because he's aware that up until now, he hasn't actually made a change. He hasn't made a move to offer her commitment or to change a situation so that would be possible. So this can simply be some flirtation. But the Page of Wands can also be good news. He may want to deliver good news to the feminine. But the Page of Wands can also represent someone who may not be very happy. Could be someone around him. He may want to say to the feminine, I want to be with you, but I've got a problem with a Page of Wands who isn't happy about me potentially making a change to be with you. So lots of messages coming through with the energy of the Page of Wands. Now, twins, let's have a look at the divine feminine's energies. Let's have a look and see what she would wish to say to her true divine twin. And of course, these could be in response to what he is relaying to her. Let's have a look, twins. The Six of Cups. So the Divine Feminine wants to talk to the masculine about the past. Could be the deep past, could be the most recent interaction they had. The Divine Feminine also wants to discuss maybe a past event that happened with the masculine. The Six of Cups can also relate to happy nostalgia. The Divine Feminine may want to reminisce with the masculine about the day they met. I remember meeting you. I knew instantly that you were my true Divine Masculine. So the feminine may simply be sat in a very romantic energy. I remember the past, right? So twins, we move now to the fifth cards. These, of course, are going to represent the challenges and obstacles that each twin is facing that they need to overcome in order to move into union in the 3D in this lifetime. So let's have a look, first of all, at the energies of the masculine. Let's have a look and see what challenges he's facing, what blocks he needs to remove from the twin flame path in order to come together with his true divine feminine. Let's have a look, twins. Let's have a look at his challenges. Oh, the Five of Cups. Now, the Five of Cups can be looking at the situation negatively, glass half empty. So the Divine Masculine, for whatever reason, may not feel very optimistic that these two will come into union. But the Five of Cups can also be a sense of guilt. I want to be with my feminine, but if I make a move to be with my feminine and make the changes I would need to make, there would be a sense of guilt about that. Maybe he's worried about hurting someone. Maybe he's worried that there might be a situation that would arise that would cause him stress or somebody else stress. So the Five of Cups is his challenge, twins. Okay. Draw me a comment down below if you know what that challenge is. It will be interesting to hear. Now, let's move to the fifth card for the Divine Feminine. This, of course, is going to show the challenges she's facing, the blocks that she would need to remove from the twin flame path in order to come together with her true Divine Masculine. Let's have a look, twins. A very similar energy, twins, the Nine of Wands. The feminine is feeling burdened. It may well be that the feminine needs to release a cycle that she's been hanging on to, but there's a weariness in considering doing that. I know I should release this. I know I should move into a new cycle with my masculine, but again, there may be a sense of, do I really have the courage to do this? She could be worried about hurting someone, or she may worry that the Divine Masculine isn't fully going to be on board. She may be thinking, well, I'm not ready to make massive changes in my life if this is not going to move forward and turn into a very stable connection so we can fulfill our soul mission. She may be nervous that the masculine isn't quite sure. Okay, twins. So we move now to the penultimate two cards. Let's have a look and see what each twin is hoping for pertaining to the connection with the other twin by the end of August 2026. So let's first of all delve into the energy of the masculine. Let's have a look and see what he is hoping for pertaining to his true divine feminine. Let's have a look, twins. Oh, yes. I felt that energy, twins. The divine masculine is hoping to simply stand at crossroads. Two of Wands. He is unsure as to whether or not this is going to work out, whether he would have the courage to make the necessary changes in order for these two to come together in the 3D. I think the divine masculine is needing a little bit more time because remember, twins, the current energy is him sat in his head. He doesn't know what decision to make. I think the masculine is sort of playing for time because he wants to make sure that if he does make changes, if he does do what he needs to do in order to bring these two together into union. He wants to make sure it's going to work. He wants to make sure it's going to be right. He may also need to ensure that other people in the mix are going to be okay with this. There is a suggestion here that one or even both these two may be connected to other people. So he's wanting to stand at crossroads. Now, twins, of course, we're going to be moving into the energy of the divine feminine. Let's have a look and see what she's hoping for pertaining to her connection with the masculine by the end of August 2026. Let's have a look, twins. The Queen of Pentacles. So the divine feminine is wanting to sit in a place of stability, peace and calm, and maybe a certain amount of abundance. Now, if the divine feminine is an earth sign, she is simply wanting to be her true self around her masculine, and she may also be hoping that the masculine commits to her. She may be hoping that the masculine moves forward and offers her a stable relationship. But if the divine feminine is still connected to somebody else, then the divine feminine may not be ready to let go of another connection to be single herself. So both these two may actually be with other people. I'm getting a sense of pulling back. I'm getting a sense of, with the Page of Swords, they're keeping an eye on each other, but neither may be ready to make those necessary changes. They're both holding back. Interesting. So, my lovely twins, let's have a look at the outcome. Let's have a look and see where these two are going to be. This is mutual energy. This is the outcome by the end of August. Let's have a look. Let's see, twins. Yes, the Five of Pentacles. Oh, I feel the difficult message of truth is neither of these two have the courage to move forward into union in the month of August. That may change as we move through the rest of the year. But I think with the Five of Pentacles, even though these two miss each other, there's a sense that this would be too risky in the month of August. We have to hold back. We've both got a lot of thinking to do. The feminine is wanting to sit in the energy of the Queen of Pentacles. The masculine is wanting to sit at crossroads. The feminine is sat in fear. The masculine is in his head. I think this is stalemate for the month of August. Okay, twins? So, if you're ready, shall we move into twin flame messages? Let's do that now. So here we go, twins. Let's have a look and see, first of all, what the feminine would want to say to her masculine. Let's have a look and see what the feminine would want to say to her masculine. The feminine is saying to her masculine, I can't do this right now. Yes, the feminine is pulling back. Second message from the feminine to her masculine. The feminine says to her masculine, I will return to claim you. So she can't be with him in August, but she is wanting to return to claim him. Okay, twins, third message from the divine feminine to her true divine masculine. Okay, the feminine says to her masculine, I regret the way we left things. So these two may be in their separate corners in the month of August. They both have each other on their minds, though. They're both deeply thinking about the connection. All right, so let's have a look at what the masculine would want to relay to his feminine. The masculine says to his feminine, I long to be one with you, union. So the masculine is fully aware that he has met his true divine feminine. He knows who she is to him. Beautiful. Second message from the divine masculine to his divine feminine. The masculine says to his feminine, I know my ego is in the way. Alrighty. So the masculine may have to take control of his ego, all right? Third and final message from the divine masculine to his true divine feminine. Let's have a look, twins. Oh, the masculine may be suffering insecurity issues, maybe a lack of confidence. I don't feel good enough for you. Okay, that may be something that the masculine needs to work on. All right. So, twins, an interesting reading for the month of August. I think these two are in stalemate. There might have been an argument between these two the last time they met. I feel the feminine is thinking about wanting a commitment, or she may be trying to figure out whether or not she wants to let go of a karmic partner. The masculine is deep in thought. He knows that there would need to be major changes in order for these two to be together in this lifetime. He is wanting to stand at crossroads for the month of August. But both of these two miss each other. There's a pining energy coming through. Okay, twins. So, once again, if you'd like your own twin flame reading, the twin flame reading is 50% off at the moment, so you can book that with me. My website's down below, but I'm leaving it there. Take care of you. And of course, I'm sending love and light your way, and many blessings, twins. Bye now.